Governor Greg Abbott may try to fight a Supreme Court decision related to schools and the children of undocumented immigrants. Plyler versus Doe stemmed from a Texas law in 1975 that stopped migrant children from enrolling in public schools. In 1982, the High Court said it violated the Equal Protection Clause, and children had to have education support, no matter their legal status. Abbott says the decision was made more than 40 years ago, and that immigration and policies in the state have changed a lot over the years.
The state of Texas should not be bearing the burden of the cost of immigration that's resulting from the Biden administration's refusal to enforce the immigration laws.
The Biden administration has condemned the governor's comments, saying it is not a mainstream point of view to deny education to children.
It is a story based on numbers that seem hard to believe.
How many kids have you fostered?
301.
Each child looking for a home, with a woman giving hers over and over and over. Her name is Peggy Bean. She's 83 years old, which seems both relevant and irrelevant. After all, there is no number attached to love. But for over a half a century, Peggy has served as a foster parent to 301 children and counting.
Even from my own kids, you know, since I was 65, they keep saying, "When are you going to retire?" And I say, "Retire to what?" Because I've been doing this since I was 28.
Her walls are filled with reminders of who she's helped, and sometimes the help is extreme.
The baby that I have now goes to 13 different clinics at this hospital. That's how many medical needs she has.
She's talking about the Children's Hospital of San Antonio, working with children through the hospital's Center for Miracles. Since 1988, all of the children she has fostered have special needs.
You have a medical background?
No.
Peggy, how do you do this? How do you know what to do for a child that desperately needs some sort of medical attention?
Well, you just learn with experience.
This all began in 1963 when she and her husband at the time moved to San Diego with their 2-year-old daughter. The family saw a TV ad for foster children.
I didn't know what foster kids even meant, honestly. I'd lived in little towns, and I didn't know any foster parents. A month later, we had a medical baby, a medical newborn. A few weeks after that, we had a second medical newborn, they added. We've been doing that ever since.
The we is her own biological family, as in her village. Peggy has 6 children, 17 grandchildren, and 16 great-grandchildren. She and her husband split after 25 years of marriage, but they built this extended family through the foster care system.
I've had kids as short a time as less than a week, a few days. I've had kids 6, 7, 8, up to 10 years.
These kids, as they get a little older, I would think they look at you and they see you as their mother. Do they call you mama?
No, because I don't call myself mama to them. I didn't call myself anything until I started having grandchildren. And my first 6 grandchildren were all born in Germany. And so I became Omi. So now I'm Omi to all of my kids.
In her words, eat, sleep, and play makes for a happy baby and a happy mama. Or in Peggy's case, a happy Omi.
From the sky or from the road, you might think that this is just a shed, but it's actually the Roach's chicken coop. Now that some of these structures can't be taxed, the family is urging other owners to take a second look at their appraisals. Hi, ladies! Samantha Foster and her family started out with just 1 chicken in this colorful backyard coop.
Then we got a second, then we got a third. Here we are.
Their chickens are like pets.
I have greens and I have light blues
that also provide breakfast. A new state law that took effect in January says structures like chicken coops, rabbit pens, or other small structures can't be included on tax appraisals. The Fosters weren't taxed on theirs.
Ours is kind of, I would call it mid-size.
And neither was Frank Rocha. But not everyone got that message, including his neighbor.
He had an existing shed that he converted to a coop, so it was always listed on his appraisal.
But with the new law, it shouldn't be anymore. And only after talking with Rocha did he learn he needed to file a protest. Rogelio Sandoval says it's never been the Bexar County Appraisal District's practice to include chicken coops. But appraisers can only look from the outside.
So it could very well be that from the outside, the structure does look to be living area, or it does look to be a shed, a barn, but the inside would tell us a different story.
If people do think there's been a mistake, Sandoval says to file a protest and take photos of the inside of the structure. He says they're happy to take a second look.